afternoon. Ghana has witnessed a rise in reported fire outbreaks this year, with the Ashanti region alone recording 80 incidents between January 1 and 12, 2025. Now, these included domestic bush, market fires, raising concerns about fire safety and emergency preparedness. Nationally, there's been 4,490, and I'm sure the number will go up, alerts reported so far in 2025. While this figure falls within the national rate compared to previous years, the frequency of incident remains a pressing issue. Now, for context, the Ghana National Fire Service recorded 2,764 fire incidents between January and April 2025. According to Global Forest Watch, this last year, 2020, held the record for the highest number of fire alerts in Ghana, with a total of 16,568. Now, these latest figures have prompted calls for intensified public education on fire safety and improved emergency response capabilities across the country. So how is the Ghana Fire Service going about this? My guest this afternoon is the Greater Accra Regional Fire Commander, AFCO2, Rashid Kwame Nasiu.
Yeah.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, my brother.
And it's good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
And first, let's start off with the Red Co fire over the weekend. And I don't know whether, tell us about it and what you've done about it so far in terms of the investigation and going forward. So,
on the 18th of April 2025, that was on Friday, at 23:15 hours, as part of measures to curb these fires, the chief officer has directed. She has directed that we embark on market patrols in the community, in the markets, and other places. So, on our usual patrols, the Medina fire station spotted smoke around Reco down. And then quickly they rushed there and realized that there are some midship structures there that was on flame. These structures mostly are occupied by these our Nigerian sisters who stay there, and then in fact, it's about an acre of land that has been, they make them like small structures, and then they live in.
So this is like a slum?
It's a slum, to sum it up, it's a slum. So by 23:17 hours, our men were on the ground already and started the firefighting. In fact, the first appliance that got there realized that the way the fire was spreading, the fire, because nobody reported it, we spotted it from afar. That meant that the fire was at a developed stage. Yeah, so quickly they called for assistance, and then Adenta Fire Station came in, Legon Fire Station came in, Abelimpe Fire Station came in, headquarters, national headquarters. In fact, we were able to marshal 5 fire engines to contain the fire.
Meaning the fire was very huge.
It was a big fire. So it took us 1 hour. So by 00:17 hours, that is 17 minutes after midnight, we brought the fire under control. So that was what happened. Unfortunately, after the firefighting, we realized that one of the occupants, who was a lady and identified by name Beauty, couldn't make it.
He died in the fire? Body bent?
She died in the fire. In an attempt to escape, she died just at the entrance when she was about to escape the blaze. So that's what happened.
So you only recovered, you discovered the body whilst in an attempt to bring the fire under control?
Yes, because normally when we are fighting, we fight fire. After firefighting, we do what we call salvaging. Salvaging means that you are trying to pick out things that have not been, it's not everything that will completely be bent. So you look out for things that have not been bent. So in the process, she was discovered.
And your initial investigation, what is it telling you?
Okay, everything is under investigation now because, one problem is nobody would like to come out
and volunteer information.
So we need to go down and take our time to get to the root of the issue. So that's what is happening now.
But there's been too many fires in 2025, and I'm wondering what really is happening.
No, you know, it's sometimes I wish I had time to really tell you the elements that will come together to make fire. And then, you see, in every fire, there are three elements. We have fuel, we have oxygen, we have heat. These elements, when they come in their right proportions, will give you fire. So, in oxygen is available in the environment everywhere. The fuel is anything that can burn. That is in fire engineering science. But of course, we've categorized the fuel where we have solid fuel like paper, wood, and other things. Then we have liquid fuel that has to do with petrol, diesel, fats, and other things. Then finally, gaseous fuel. Now, the strange element here in these three, in the whole triangle of combustion, is the heat component.
Right.
Because it will be sometimes it's difficult. You can't take away the oxygen. The fuel is available in the environment. So the strange element is the heat. So most of the time, what it is that either something has been left unattended to, or, in fact, in the home setting, the fan is a sort of heat.
Right.
The bulbs that gives you light is a source of heat. The irons we use is a source of heat. The kettles, the rice cookers, everything is a source of heat. So then what we look out for is which of these elements triggered to complement the two elements to make the triangle complete. So then it will have to take time for us. Sometimes we do what we call reconstruction. Reconstruction in fire investigation means that...
Understand what could have been the possible cause.
Yes, reconstruction means that you need to get the person who lived in that room, if it's a room, if it's a market, whatever got bent, you need to get the person to tell you that my TV was positioned here, my fan was here, my iron was here. Then you begin your investigations and you are coming down. Then you now find out that at that time, what were you doing at the time that the fire came?
Right.
Then let's say that, okay, my radio was not on, my phone was on charge, maybe I was ironing, so then we are now narrowing to. So it takes time sometimes to come to a conclusion, but certainly we do.
But do you get the impression that human activity contribute more to fire outbreaks?
Yes.
I mean, in case you want to rank the possible causes, will you put human activity as number one? I've not prepared the statistics to back that, but if you look at it, that is what it is. If you look at it, you see that the human activity, like I'm saying, I even prepared like measures like to curb these things. If you are ironing and you receive a call, and you leave the you see the call that is coming, the call that is coming, you don't know the news that is coming to you. Right.
This news could be good. This news could be bad. Within the moment, your mind could be taken away from what you were doing. We are in Easter celebration. People would like to enjoy.
All right. Enjoyment
goes with some little bit of alcohol. Cooking is going on. You take in some small alcohol, you want to cook. Your attention is not so much on the cooking.
Right.
You see,
but on other things. And then possibly the gas cylinder is also close by.
Lot. You see, so even the regulation of the fire that you are cooking. So I advise that if you want to cook, you shouldn't do that when you are under the influence of alcohol, because this will impair your capacity, your ability to think. You see, so either you don't do things like multitasking. You are doing too many things at a time.
At the same time.
These are things that we do that will bring, like the last time I came here, I was talking about where people sleep. And because of mosquitoes they have a coil around. Sometimes there's light off. They have a candle around that they want to light and see them. But these are, if you are not lucky in the process, you fall asleep, this candle finishes, and you didn't put it properly. Because there's a way you should do it to prevent fires. Like you can put it in a ceramic bowl with some water in it, so that when it burns and gets into it, the fire will definitely go off. But if you don't do that and you just leave it on the bare floor,
I mean, you are only preparing yourself.
You are preparing yourself.
Yeah.
So these are some of the mistakes that we do at home that can lead to fires.
Let's spend some few minutes on gas cylinder.
Yes.
And the danger that it portends for our homes. I mean, now a lot of homes are using gas cylinder. The government is even encouraging people to move away from wood to gas. So meaning that it is something that's come to stay.
Yes.
Some people advise that you should always have your cylinder outside of your kitchen.
Yes.
Some, it is in the kitchen.
Yes.
For a lot more people, the cylinder is in the kitchen.
Yes.
Educate us on how you should manage it when you have a gas cylinder that you use for domestic activities.
You see, just like you said, this cylinder, you shouldn't live with it in the room. You can get a hole through the wall and have this cylinder outside.
And people are afraid thieves may come and steal.
So you can
and steal the cylinder.
So you can make some metals
and then
around,
protect it.
Make some small shelf because of the weather, and put it there. Then you can bore a hole through the kitchen. Then you put it on. This is the safer way, because even if it happens that way, and the cylinder is leaking, it will leak into the atmosphere.
But you know, there are people who live in apartment buildings.
Yes.
Maybe you are living on the 4th or 5th floor.
Yes.
And it's difficult to have the cylinder outside.
Yes.
That will virtually mean hanging it.
I have seen such things.
How are you going to remove the cylinder if it ran out and refill, and you are going to rent a ladder or a scaffold to go in? So there are a lot of inconvenience for people who live on story buildings, for example.
Yes.
What would be your advice to such individuals?
You see, in this environment in which you live, I've seen people put their cylinders in the balcony behind. That is not bad. And you can access the cylinder not through a ladder, but there is always an entrance from your room or the hall that you can get to the back there when it's empty to get it out.
That is if your kitchen is positioned close to the balcony. Yeah. But where the kitchen is not positioned close to the balcony.
You see, this one too, in estate developing, if you come for fire certification, if you come for approval for fire certification, we can do it this way, that you can have a cylinder, a big one, sitting somewhere, right? Then pipes will be laid through, just like we lay electrical wires. Pipes will be laid through to your kitchen, all right? Then each room will be metered. I think this is where we should be heading towards, that each room, a kitchen will be metered. So then room, block 1A, block B, block C, in that order. So what it means is that they will come and supply the bulk gas for you somewhere at a safe place. Then everybody will be paid based on how much you have consumed. And that makes it safer. If you go to, let me give you a classical example. This newly constructed market at KJTI in Ashanti.
Right.
That is the provision that has been made. I don't know whether they have operationalized it. Where they design as a kitchen, there is a special place that you have a very big cylinder that they have, all the lines are connected from there through all. So then there is no need carrying a cylinder going and coming.
And yet people still had it in their shops and were cooking. According to the report of the last fire, the fire was as a result of somebody cooking in the market, which the market was built to have a centralized kitchen where people should go and cook and eat. Yet people, in clear violation of that laid down rules, decided to have their own kitchen in their stores.
So for my advice on some of these things, all these markets are under market managers. Some of them are under district assemblies. So then I would strongly advise that each district assembly that a market falls under, they should have bylaws on how the market will be run, or how the market will be operated, so that they will make laws to govern the way things are done, so that if you violate it, then they can take you on. But if you don't make bylaws, so that even these things, before the person even comes to take a shop in the market, it should be like a memorandum of understanding between the one who is coming to occupy and those that are giving out the facility to you.
Right.
So that you sign on to it, you have read it, you understood, and you know the consequences that they say, okay, fine, if you do A, B, C, D, E, F, these are... In fact, when I was in Kumasi, I remember there was a time they used to go and lock up people's shops. If they see that you are violated, sometimes they can decide to lock up your shop for about a week or two. I don't know whether that was part of their bylaws, but I've seen such before. And so these are some of the measures.
So will you strongly advise against people keeping cylinders in their homes for whatever purposes?
Cylinders, usage of gas is something we cannot do without, because it will save the environment. We are talking about the environment, so we all are advocating for the usage of gas, but we should use it in such a way that it will not give us troubles. So these are the ways that I'm talking about. So getting a small cylinder and then living with it, and these things can give you problems. You can, and I will advise that even if you put it in the room, there is nowhere you can keep these things. Exactly. Maybe it's on small single room. Then when you come and you want to put it on, you have to first of all test it. You can open all the windows because it's a gas. So when you open the windows first, you see that even if it was leaking, all the gas that was standing, and you need to use the smell. You
detect whether there's gas in the room.
And because it's such that it has a very pungent smell. So when you get in there and you hear of the scent, this should tell you that the environment is not safe. At times too, you can also do some soapy water and put it on to see whether the bubbles are coming. If the bubbles are coming, just like leakage. Maybe a punctured tie. I don't know whether you've taken your car to the car. So
and they do that. But
they do that. So
even that now, I think if I've been to some of these gas stations to fill gas cylinder here and there. Usually, what they do is that they themselves check to see whether there's leakage. And if there's leakage, they tell you to change the rubber. Yes. And it's always done. It's helpful and it's not expensive. Just 3%
one CD or some 50%.
Yes, but I know that people have issues with anything, especially when it comes to cost. So if you are home and you are watching us this afternoon, it's holiday, it's Monday, and you are enjoying with your family. We're just trying to really understand that fire is so close to you if you don't take that needed step to prevent it. And we are talking about domestic fire, and the fire officer is advising on where to place your cylinder, more especially for domestic use, and how close you are to catching fire if you should keep it in your kitchen instead of having it outside of your kitchen. That is the advice you are getting. So let's talk about market fires, because it's been an issue. And I know that last week, for instance, there was a fire somewhere around the circle where they sell mobile phones. It didn't come to it didn't come to the media attention that much because you controlled it.
I think I sent you the pictures.
Exactly, you sent it to me, and I was quite scared. I mean, you have all of these shops so congested in that area. I mean, first of all, what led to that fire?
That one too. When I got there, I heard the occupants saying that as for them, they can just draw their conclusions. The power, no.
There was a power set according to them.
That was what they were saying, but as professionals, we don't rely on such things.
But it could also be a cause.
It could also be a cause anyway. But then what happened that day? It was even raining. You see, why you didn't hear is because we managed to contain the situation. If you realize, I sent you some videos.
Right.
Those videos that I sent to you, I just wanted you to know with time. I don't know if you had put them together.
We'll put them together
so that you can show the public to know that it's not always that you get to a place and there's trouble, we couldn't handle the situation. Look at the gas situation that I showed you and other things. So the tiptoe lane was a success story. But the success story, nobody is interested in the success story. I'm very honest with you. Nobody is interested in the success story. I was there myself. I went out for patrols. I was at the ministries around 12 there, at the ministries fire station, around interior there.
12 midnight?
Yes, I was there. Then the radio that there was fire at tiptoe lane. So I was then monitoring to see. But the way the communication was, we have a way of monitoring to know whether the incident is a big one or is manageable. So when I realized that they were calling for assistance and other things, I said, no, I'm just around. So let me go there and have it. So I went there and took over as the incident commander. And in less than some 30 minutes to 45 minutes, we had brought the fire under control. And a lot of people, even though some few shops got burnt, we counted 10. 2 partially burnt and 8, the content of 8 got burnt. But we salvaged over, if I'm not mistaken, over 1,000. If you go there, you see it.
It's not because you have a fire station so close by.
It's a factor.
Yes.
It's a factor.
So the proximity to the fire was...
Yes, it's a factor.
Was not an issue.
It's a factor because when you want to look at to be able to handle fire effectively, the distance from where the fire station is and the area that is burning, if the distance is far, what it means is that it will take the fire engine a lot of time to commute from where the station is to where the fire is burning. But here was a situation, it was just a stone throw from tiptoe lane to Circle Fire Station. So they just shouted fire no, and then the firemen, the tender quickly moved in, and then everything was brought under control. So this brings to mind the plan of opening the direction of the new chief officer that we want to open more stations. So if you open more stations, what it means is that you are getting closer to the people and your traveling distance is reduced, and that will impact in your response. Remember, if the fire is at a matured stage, containing it is difficult, unlike when the fire is just at the introduction or at the initial stage. So that's how things work.
But again, what I've also realized, example, at the tiptoe lane, you managed to bring the fire under control, you extinguish it.
Yes.
The people are back to work. It's like nothing happened.
No, you see, these people, that is why I'm saying that we, as a service, ours is to go and render the service. Those whose responsibility it is to ensure that we have safe egress, you have passage into. We don't allocate shops.
But you recommend that view of this and that this should be done. Do you follow up to check whether the recommendations have been adhered to?
Sometimes these things don't come on your table before you realize. A classical example is Kantamanto. They came to me, we all spoke all right. But because they realized that the way the conditions for fire application of fire knowledge was not going to inure to their interest. That is their interest. They just ignored and went ahead. So I will advise that the authorities who normally give these things out should ensure that things of that nature, they will bring the drawings to it. We will look at them, advise them before.
Let's move to other areas. You mentioned, for example, among the goals of the new fire officer, is to set up a lot of stations so that you are closer to the people.
Fact, yes.
But it will not just be enough to put up the structure when you don't have the equipment to service those stations.
When we don't have
when you don't have the fire equipment, because it is a challenge. And I'm wondering whether you have assurance that you'll be provided what you need to function effectively.
Okay, so Elton, the other day, the deputy minister was here. You heard him say that it is, and truly, when the interior minister came to the headquarters, I was there, and he was so passionate. He assured us that he will do that for us. So we are hoping that it will come to pass. So that is where I can end that one.
Okay. The Greater Accra Regional Commander is my guest here on the pulse, and they don't only fight fire. They are also into emergency response. They are always the first people to call. If you don't know, it is the responsibility of the fire service to respond to emergency situations, like for example, an accident. It is not the police, it is the fire service. But let's find out whether they are up to that task. So we are still in the Easter festivities.
Yes.
There's big party ongoing in the Kowu area.
Yeah.
I'm sure that either late tonight or early morning, you will see a lot of cars descend them and then come to Accra. The possibility of accident here and there is not something that we cannot rule out. Is it a police response to an accident? Should the police be the first to call?
The fire service should be the first to be called, because when there is a road crash, when we get there, the first thing is lives, saving of lives first. So even the mandate is to save lives. Our mandate is to save lives and property.
And are you doing that effectively?
We are doing our best. We are doing our best. Just like I'm mentioning to you, if you are to save lives first, when you go there, the first thing to do is to do what we call extrication. You bring out the casualty, and we have the tools to do that. Now, let me tell you how accidents. You see, every accident in this world, in road traffic education, is 3. Accident can happen on wheels. Accident can happen on side. Accident can happen on roof. Maybe if I have to break it down small. Now, when we say accident has happened on roof, what it means is that the car has fallen, or there's an accident, and the tires are up, and the roof is what? Down. When it happens on side, what it means is that it's either at the left-hand side or at the right-hand side. When it happens on wheels, what it means that it has crashed and is still what? Standing. And we, as part of the training, we give them, when accidents happens on wheels, the technique to take out casualties. When accidents happens on roof, the techniques to bring out casualties. And when accidents happen on side, the techniques to bring out. And there are tools for each of these. We have what to do here. We have what we call combi tools. We have something we call spreaders. We have something we call dedicated cutters. We have rams. We have soft protections. We have glass breakers. You see, if you have a glass breaker and you get there, and the only way to get a casualty out is to break the glass, you don't need to go and bring it. You just a press of a punch and pop. The whole glass is broken.
It's down.
And even there is a soft protection. Of course, because when you break the glass, what it means is that the particles can fall on the casualty, and that can also be an issue. So first, you need to put what we call soft protection. And we know how to go about it. Break the glass so that all the particles will fall into the soft protection. You fold it away and immobilize the casualty. So that is what we do. So I will advise that when it happens, they should first call us to take care of the lives first, before we now look at the legislation-wise. Was it that he was drunk and driving, or somebody veered into his lane? These are legal issues. But the legal issues can only happen when even the person is alive. When he's not alive and he's dead, how are you going to tax the dead body?
But again, the last time I checked, Ghana National Fire Service, or Ghana for that matter, in terms of emergency response, I mean, there's a Committee of Nations emergency response. Ghana is not there.
We used to be part, and I know very soon it will come back.
But why are we not part now?
No, it's something that I will not be able to discuss in the open.
The claim is that we don't have what it takes to undertake emergency response.
When you say what it takes, like in terms of tools or the capacity? In
terms of capacity, tools, we are not even abreast with international standards, because we don't even attend conferences to understand what is going on.
That's why I'm saying that it's a long story that I don't want to go into. You see, to be part of the World Council of Rescue Organizations, even the subscription, you need to, like, I don't know whether you people have it, you need to be a member in the first place. You need to register and be a member.
And we are not members.
So we used to, but there's a challenge somewhere.
Because we don't pay our subscription.
But I'm sure we'll come back. Surely we'll come back. Inshallah, we'll come back.
Is that a target for the new fire?
Yes, I'm sure there's that. We'll get it back.
But getting back means you have to conform to certain conditions.
Oh, the human resource, the training is there. Even recently, there is an RIV brand new one at the regional national headquarters. I don't know whether you've been there. It's a sample of what is. You can just visit and see. So they are there. I know we have rescue tools in the circle here. We have some at Medina. The last time that there was a crash in East Legon, the one that happened in East Legon, but it was Medina who came and took them. How did we get the tools? The tools were in the car. But of course, we need more. That one, yes, I should say that one. We need more.
Okay. We'll be wrapping up soon. Right now, people are listening and watching us this afternoon. What will be your advice to them, especially on this Easter Monday?
So Easter celebration, you see, when you are celebrating, your emotions are high. Everything you do it in a different style. My only advice is that if you are drinking, please remember that you shouldn't go and drive. And if you know you are going to drive, then don't what? Drink. That is my advice. And they should remember that any time there is any accident, fire service, they should call us. We will respond, and we are ready. We are ready. I have showed you pictures. I showed you pictures where we mobilize casualties and other. There are more. I'll send it to you to see. So it's something we've been doing. Maybe because there are success stories, like I keep saying.
Of course. they don't get so much attention. What about the SOS calls? Has there been improvement? People call to report nonsense, if you like.
There is no improvement. I will not lie to you. And none that we've been talking all the time. I will advise you one day to send one of your reporters to the Fire Master Control and just be there for only 1 hour. And the number of prank calls that will come in will surprise you. I don't understand. You are not in trouble. You are not in trouble, and you are calling emergency lines. The line that you are calling, you are disturbing somebody who is in distress and who is in need. You see, much as you are joking with the line, you are putting somebody who is in need, a life in danger. So I think that since we are partnering you...
But you don't have a way of tracking the number?
I think I spoke about it the last time. It's the telecos who should take this. The last time I said it, and I'll repeat it again, as a corporate social responsibility. So that if we begin to prosecute people, we locate them, we get 1 or 2 and prosecute them, I think they will sit up. They will stop. But as for the prank calls, if you come there, you will not be happy. You will not be happy at all. You will not be happy.
All right.
Yes.
So you were advising before we go?
Okay, so we are on our usual patrols. The education is going on. That is part of the reason why, as a regional commander, I've decided I'll come myself. When you called me, I didn't hesitate.
Right.
You can bear with me. As soon as you called me, I said, no, I'll come. And I'm here. And I'm ready to come anytime you call. So our hydrants, this morning, I had a call that somebody was encroaching on a hydrant at this place, Amasama.
Building on the hydrant?
Yes, I quickly sent the firemen at that place, but I was happy because it was somebody who gave us that information.
Okay.
So that means all hopes are not lost.
Right.
Good. So the men went there this morning and they brought me pictures and we are pursuing it. And we'll make sure that the person will have to stop what he's doing because you cannot build on the hydrant. So those are the things that I will advise. And then, like I said, today is a festive mood. In a festive mood, if you drink, don't drive. If you drive, don't drink. And take good care of yourself. The fires, if they are talking about issues of fire, you think that it's something that is far away from you. A little mistake, you'll be very sorry.
Right.
That is it.
All right, thank you so much. Greater Accra Regional Fire Commander, AFCO2.
ACFO, let me correct you.
Okay. So
Assistant Chief Fire Officer.
Assistant Chief Fire, okay. Assistant Chief Fire Officer 2.
Yes.
Rashid Kwame Nasau.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for coming through and go and enjoy the rest of your holiday.
So
folks.